Hey everyone, it's Maximilian, and today I went shooting. I'm visiting my grandpa in Arizona right now, my grandparents, and he's got a couple handguns, and he hadn't been shooting in a while, so we figured, well, let's go down to the gun club and shoot. I figured it'd be a fun experience since I'd never done it before. I mean, I've handled a few shotguns and pellet guns in my time, but never a handgun, so I figured it'd be an interesting experience. And I have to tell you, you could fight a small war out of that gun club. Like, the minute you walk in, you see a minigun turret surrounded by belts and belts and belts of ammo. I mean, with that thing alone, you could take out a small army. And then immediately behind it, there's a display with 3 stock Barrett M209 sniper rifles, just ready to go. I mean, this place was just absolutely loaded to the brim. And then there were the assault rifles and submachine guns, which you could rent for $15 an hour, which is really not that bad. I mean, you probably had to pay for ammo, I assume, but still, I mean, how often do you get a chance to say that you fired a fully auto AK-47, which is actually what some college kids came by and did while we were there. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them, and they came by and they were shooting this fully auto AK-47. And I know you've seen it in video games like Call of Duty and stuff, but when you see that thing fire in real life, it is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, every time I saw one of those college kids try to hold that gun, they would kick back a good foot every time they pulled the trigger. And then when they tried going full auto, that thing would just spray all over the place. They could not handle it. I mean, the amount of kick on that gun is absolutely ridiculous. That is one of the loudest things you will ever hear. Like, you notice when you watch a movie with guns, they don't sound that terribly loud, but even with earplugs in, like, it was obnoxious. Absolutely ridiculous how loud that gun is. So, yeah, they had everything from AKs to M16s, M4 SOP mods. They even had some FN guns, like they had a P90 and an F2000 on display for rental as well. So they had quite a diverse selection. I was really quite impressed with the stuff that they had for rentals. And then there was also a kid and his mom who were shooting a mini Uzi, which I thought was hysterical. Because the mom is just sitting there with the target, probably no more than 10 feet in front of her, trying to shoot a mini Uzi, and she just could not do it. It was so funny. But yeah, I went shooting with my grandpa, and he brought along 3 guns. He brought along a .38 Cop Special, which basically looks like a cap gun revolver, except it's definitely not a cap gun. That thing actually packs quite a bit of wallop for a .38. He brought a 40 caliber KH handgun, which basically looks like your standard pistol nowadays, with your 3-dot iron sight, standard grip and clip action and everything. And that thing actually packed quite a bit of punch. I figured, standard handgun, it's probably not going to recoil that badly, but a 40 caliber has a lot of power in it. It was still nonetheless fun to shoot. The other gun he brought was something called a Taurus Judge. And the reason they call it a Judge is because it's standard issue for courtroom judges. They will actually keep those on hand in the event that a riot or some disorder breaks out in the courtroom. And what it is it's an extra long 5-chamber revolver. And those chambers are built to either shoot a long 45 caliber Magnum round, or they're built to shoot specialized buckshot shells. So basically, this thing is a revolver that can shoot like a shotgun, and this thing's absolutely ridiculous. We tried shooting the buckshot from about 15 and 20 feet, and it probably spreads maybe 3 or 4 inches total. And if you land that thing on anybody, that is instant death. It's crazy to think about how much power that gun has. And I remember thinking that when I first went up to shoot it, it's a 45 caliber gun. I mean, that's probably like the second biggest handgun they make. I figured that thing's going to recoil like crazy, and it was actually not much worse, if not probably any worse, than the KH 40 cal. That thing was an absolute beast. The 45 was a lot more accurate, probably because of the fact that the barrel was so long. Like, this thing looks like a supersized Magnum. But it was still very heavy, so it was hard to keep steady. But nonetheless, I had a great time. I'll actually post I'll post a picture of one of the targets I had. I've never shot a gun before, but for some reason I was just on the money, I suppose. I hit the first target fairly well at 25 feet with the KH, so I decided to try shooting at 50 feet and see what would happen. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot of distance, but 50 feet is a very, very long way, especially for a target. Like, you kind of have to visualize it for yourself. It's not one of those things that you can picture. But I managed to land all three within 2 inches of each other on the bullseye, the first 3 shots that I fired at it. I mean, after that, my accuracy just dwindled, but I'm not sure what I was doing, but I was just nailing it. It was great fun. But yeah, it really does make you appreciate the power that guns have, because until you actually shoot one, like a real one yourself, that actually shoots a bullet, I don't think people really appreciate how powerful guns are, and the amount of respect that you need to have for that gun when you are handling it. Because while those things are amazingly powerful, they're amazingly dangerous, and when they're mishandled, they could very easily injure or kill somebody. Nonetheless, it's a very fun hobby and a great experience if you've never tried it. I would personally like to go back to that gun range again and see if I can't try out some of the bullpup assault rifles, namely the FN project. The P90 submachine gun just looks like a lot of fun to fire. I don't know why, but something about those guns looks just so peculiar and weird, I guess would be the word for it. Like, those guns don't look like they should be guns. They look far too futuristic and far too complex in their design to actually be useful. And I actually talked to some of the guys at the gun shop to get their opinion on it, and because I figure, the F2000 is terrible in Call of Duty, so, well, maybe it's not that bad in real life, right? Apparently the terrible effect of the F2000 holds true in real life as well. From the people that I talked to, it's very unreliable. It kicks all over the place. The iron sights suck. Like, everything that I heard about that gun is just bad news. So apparently Infinity Ward got it right. Don't be hating on them. The F2000 really does suck. So there ends all of the speculation on that gun. But the M4 is just as accurate as it is in the game. There was actually a guy who came by with a SOP mod M481, and he had a holographic sight on there, and he was just... This guy looked like he had been a member of the gun club. This guy knew what he was doing, and he was just popping headshots left and right. He was amazingly accurate with that gun. And the surprising thing is, like, compared to the AK-47, it doesn't kick at all. But that's also because the rounds that are fired in the M4 SOP mods are actually a very low caliber. I think they're 22s. But compared to the AK, which fires something along the range of 38 to 44. So, much bigger bullet is going to involve a lot more recoil. But the M4 was built for accuracy, and it shows. But yeah, this guy was definitely an experienced shooter. It's really cool to get to see all those guns that you use in video games, and then you finally get to see them in front of you in real life, like, yeah, these things actually exist. These are pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I had a great time at the shooting range. I'll post a picture of my target, probably at the end of the video. But, let's see. I've done some really cool stuff while I've been out here. I am in the market to buy a car. My dad told me when I was probably like starting high school that if I ever got a full ride to college, then he would buy me a car. Because paying for college is definitely a lot more expensive than paying for a car. So I did manage to get it. So he basically told me, okay, you can look for something in the market of like $15,000 to $17,000. Like you can get a fairly decent car with that kind of money. But one of the cars I've been looking at is a Scion XB. I don't know, something about that car is just very appealing to me. I know that it's different, it's very unique, but I think that they pull off the boxy car style very well. It's very fashionably done, and actually the car rides very well. It's an incredibly smooth ride. The turning radius is great. It's incredibly nimble for something that looks like it should handle like an SUV. And I want to get a stick shift because I've always wanted to learn how to drive a stick shift, and all my friends I've talked to who drive manual transmission cars say that it's a blast and you never go back kind of thing. But I figure this would be a good way to force the issue, because if I have a car with a stick, I gotta eventually learn how to drive it. I think it's unfortunately a forgotten skill in today's society, because now that we've moved on with such advanced automatic transmissions, this thing is kind of a luxury. It's almost like you have to have an option on a car for a manual anymore. The majority of car makers don't even make cars with them anymore. Scion is actually one of the few automakers that has manual transmission standard on their models, which I found very peculiar. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. Let me know what you think about the XB, because I know Mercadirk has given me a lot of flack about it, because I've told him I really like that car, I really want to get that. It just seems like it'd be a great car for me, and he absolutely hates it. So if you're subscribed to Mercadirk, go over to his channel and tell him how much you love the Scion XB and how cool it looks and all that jazz. Go ahead and return the favor for him. It's about time something came around for him. But yeah, something about Arizona. I've probably mentioned before that I like the dry heat a lot better than the humidity. But the thing about Arizona is when you come out here, they just seem to have everything that the Midwest does not have, namely In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is the single greatest thing that has ever happened to mankind since sliced bread. Hands down. If you've never been out west, the next time you go there, either to California, Nevada, Utah, or Arizona, I'm pretty sure they've expanded to those 4 states now, but they're only in those 4 states. Get your butt to an In-N-Out Burger and get yourself a double-double. It is the best thing you will ever have. I mean, it's just a simple burger and fries, but the way they do it, I don't know. Something about it is just great. The service there is always amazing, and it's actually a very good price. It tastes amazing. One of the best burgers you will ever have. And if you're feeling really adventurous, get your fries animal style. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, animal style is actually not on their menu. It's kind of like a secret thing that they do or whatever. But if you're in the know and you request animal style fries, they will top your fries with American cheese, sauteed onions, and Thousand Island dressing. And I know that sounds terribly disgusting, because when I first saw that somebody order them, I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like somebody just puked on an order of fries. It is so good. I don't know why something that looks that bad could taste so good. It's so weird. It's indescribable. I don't know how you could put into words how something like that could taste good, but it does. Take my word for it on that. Another thing that Scottsdale, Arizona has that other places don't have is a pizza joint called Oregano's. There have been a lot of great pizza joints I've been to over the years. Like, we have St. Louis style pizza from where I come from. It's like super thin crust, and you can put basically whatever toppings on there, but St. Louis style pizza uses Provel cheese. It's like our claim to fame. I love it. Others hate it. I don't know, whatever. But Oregano's, they will do pretty much any kind of pizza you could possibly think of. And it's so good. They have one in particular called a Frisco pizza, which is, it's actually not made with a marinara sauce or pizza sauce. It's made with a white cream sauce. They use mozzarella and feta cheese, bacon, and Roma tomatoes. It is the most delicious pizza you will ever have in your entire life. It sounds like something like a crazy vegan, well, not really vegan because it has bacon on it, but like, you know, some kind of hippie would eat. But it's so good. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, if you ever go to Scottsdale, definitely hit up an In-N-Out Burger and hit up Oregano's. It will change your life. So this is pretty much Vermilion City and the SSN. I'm going to finish up the last few trainers on the SSN, and then we're going to fight Gary and go to the gym. So we'll see you later.